I'm Jessica Lahr, and this is a look at your week in the Finger Lakes. Relentless rainfall caused flash flooding throughout the region earlier this week, with up to 4 inches of rain on Sunday alone in parts of Ontario, Tompkins, Schuyler, and Yates counties, while all Finger Lakes communities dealt with more rain falling late into Sunday evening and again on Tuesday morning. Honeoye, Watkins Glen, and Newfield receiving the bulk of the damage. In Naples, fire officials rescued 12 hikers in Grimes Glen who were separated when water in the park rose rapidly, blocking the trails. In Tompkins County, the Cayuga Inlet rose over its banks, closing several roads and forcing dozens of residents in Newfield to be evacuated from their homes. Meanwhile, in Watkins Glen, rapids rushed through the gorge at Watkins Glen State Park, and areas of downtown were under 2 feet of water on Sunday night into Monday morning. On Tuesday, it was the Seneca River that rose several feet over the flood limit, causing the evacuation of the River Forest RV Park in Weedsport. Unfortunately, more rain is in the forecast. I'll have the full details on your weekend weather outlook in a moment. The Geneva City School District's budget has passed after initially failing to secure enough voter support earlier this year. The new budget proposal voted on Tuesday, receiving 63% of the vote. The final vote, 1,435 in favor, 837 opposed. Police have identified the victim of a hit-and-run accident on an exit ramp of Interstate 81 in Syracuse as 20-year-old Arthur Colson of Cato. Police haven't said why Colson was walking on the highway ramp at 2 a.m. Saturday when he was struck by an SUV. Colson was pronounced dead at Upstate University Hospital. Investigators tracked down the vehicle involved in the crash and arrested the driver, 25-year-old Elliot Branch. He was charged with leaving the scene of a fatal crash and driving while ability impaired. He is currently being held on $100,000 bail in the Onondaga County Jail. One person was taken to the hospital after emergency crews said he crashed his vehicle into a home in the town of Ontario Monday. The crash happened around 2 p.m. on Ridge Road. Investigators said the driver may have suffered a medical condition behind the wheel. They said the vehicle hit a tree, spun around, and then crashed into a house. The driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No one in the house was hurt. According to the New York Post, the massive manhunt for 2 escaped murderers from the Clinton Correctional Facility has been hampered by state police secrecy, interagency rivalries, and the disrupting involvement of Governor Andrew Cuomo on the first day of the breakout. According to law enforcement sources, Cuomo's surprise arrival at a still unfolding escape scene a week ago Saturday generated considerable national publicity for the governor, but distracted investigators at a time when the full facts of the escape were not yet known. The sources said the state police, the lead agency, had repeatedly refused to share information on the design and scope of the manhunt with the local police. The Clinton County Sheriff's Department, the State Correctional Service Department, and the State Environmental Conservation Department, whose police officers are part of the manhunt, along with U.S. Marshals Service. The 2 escaped convicts remain at large. Read more on all these stories and hundreds more from over 40 local sources online at FingerLakes1.com. On Wednesday, the region finally began to recover and dry out, but residents are holding their breath as more storms are expected early Friday morning, and the potential for more rain is in the forecast on Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at your local weekend weather outlook. After overnight storms pass through early Friday morning, the balance of the day will be sunny and pleasant with a high temperature in the lower 70s. Saturday and Sunday will have daytime highs around 80 degrees, but there is a chance of rain each day with showers and possible thunderstorms likely on Sunday morning. For up-to-the-minute weather information, radar images, and the latest local forecast, visit our local weather center at FingerLakes1.com or on the FingerLakes1.com Android or iPhone app. When we come back, a look at some of the great local photos posted at FingerLakes1.com this week, and a look at what's happening around the region this weekend. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's there's one place you can get it at FingerLakes1.com. Come on over to FingerLakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
Local news from over 40 sources, custom local weather, over 10 hours of live broadcasts and podcasts every week on your computer, tablet, television, or smartphone. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
www.fingerlakes1.com. Come on and join the fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
Welcome back. Now we'll look at some of our favorite local photos of the week. A massive thunderstorm hammered the central Finger Lakes around 10:30 p.m. last Wednesday night. The storm was moving from west to east, as seen in this photo by Rachel Burkholder at Sampson State Park. Rachel said she's seldom seen the sky light up with so many lightning strikes at once. Two young bucks strolling the beach at Sodas Point on Wednesday morning only paused for a moment to check out Chris Trine, who had caught them. These two fox kits didn't seem to be very bothered by human curiosity, as photographed here on County Road 46 in Canandaigua last week by John Hurlbert. A feather, a double sundog, and a glorious sunset on Monday evening at Sodas Point captured in this photo by Kathy Contant. And finally, the South Seneca Marching Falcons performed during the Interlake and Old Home Days Parade Saturday afternoon. This photo by Carrie Smalzer. You can check out more recent local photos by clicking on the Photos link at the top of our homepage or by tapping the Photos tab on our app. In local theaters this weekend, debuting on Friday is the new animated film Inside Out, showing at the Lake Street Plaza Theaters in Penn Yan, the Geneva Movieplex, Canandaigua Theaters, Canal Town Cinema in Macedon, and the Auburn Movieplex 10. Also catch Jurassic World at the Omen Theater in Lyons, the Melissa McCarthy comedy Spy, and Dwayne Johnson The Rock Johnson in San Andreas. For more movie times at theaters close to you, click on Movie Times at our homepage or on the FingerLakes1.com app. Next, a quick rundown of what's happening around the Finger Lakes this weekend. On Saturday, it's the Palmyra Moose Riders' 7th annual poker run. The Thomas Bergeron Jazz Ensemble is playing at the Smith Opera House in Geneva, a strawberry festival at the First United Methodist Church in Port Byron, and the Superhero 5K in Clifton Springs. On Sunday, you can treat Dad to a Father's Day barbecue at the Aurora Inn. Agonal Rhythm is playing at the Rose Hill Mansion in Geneva, an open house at the Shortsville Railroad Station Museum, and Sonnenberg Gardens is offering a Father's Day car and motorcycle cruise in Canandaigua. Check out more details on these events and many more by visiting our community calendar. If you missed it on FingerLakes1.tv this week, on Thursday night's 31st Lap podcast, Chris Marquardt fills you in on the new Full Throttle experience at Watkins Glen during NASCAR weekend.
We're going to be flying solo, going to move through it fast, but first item on the docket is this interesting little ditty that we found out about from Watkins Glen. The Full Throttle experience is what they're calling it. Kind of cool. Full Throttle at the Glen. It's new, all new, completely new VIP experience that is set for August 6th to 9th, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Cheez-It 355 weekend. It's a really cool combination here. This package includes Hall of Fame motorsports personalities that we haven't really had the chance to hang out with on our show, but we love to do it. NASCAR Series champion Rusty Wallace and four-time Trans Am champion Tommy Kendall are going to take you on personal pace car laps and garage tours, which is pretty cool. From the time the guests show up there, they're going to be treated to uncompared behind-the-scenes experience. These packages are budget priced at $3,000. Pairs can be purchased for discounted $5,000. Limited numbers, obviously, are going to be available. It comes with a hot pass along entry into the garage area, starter, stand viewing opportunities, if you can believe that, weekend fan vision rental, photo opportunities with the winning drivers and the celebrities in Gatorade Victory Lane, driver and motorsports, personality appearances, at the Pit Inn, which is a dedicated weekend hostess. Comes with that as well. Exclusive Watkins Glen International gift package. Fans can also get access to pre-race activities and meetings with the drivers and crew chiefs throughout the weekend. It's unbelievable. I mean, I would, I'd be willing to put that money out there if I had it. That would be an amazing experience, because just imagine the number of people that you're going to be able to cross paths with there August 6th to 9th NASCAR Sprint Series weekend, presented by Cheez-It 355 weekend. You get all the turnkey VIP experience. You get all the experience of being from the starter stand. You get to go to the drivers' meeting. You get to go to Victory Lane. You get to meet the drivers and the crew chiefs that you see week after week competing with the NASCAR's Premier Series. It's awesome and pretty cool deal. You can book them through Jeff Nelson. You can call him at 607-353-3354. That's 607-353-3354. J Nelson at theglen.com. Pretty cool. Full throttle experience, VIP, all access. August 6th to 9th, NASCAR Sprint Series Cheez-It 355 weekend, Watkins Glen International.
On Monday night, during the Finger Lakes Golfer podcast, find out which local ninth grader won their second straight state title.
Some local golf news for you guys and for our listeners here as we move along. For the second consecutive season, Auburn's Lindsay May won the New York State Golf Championship. May won last year as an 8th grader, making her a 9th grader this year. Back-to-back champs as a 9th grader. She came back to win by shooting a 1 under par for the tournament. The only golfer to accomplish that over the course of the weekend at SUNY Delhi. So congratulations, Lindsay May. That's certainly an incredible accomplishment as a freshman in high school to now be the back-to-back defending New York State champ for the Auburn Maroons out of Section 3. Shout out to Chuck Ersman, Auburn Maroon himself. Yep. Central New York PGA.
On Monday morning, Rod Verke was in studio with Harold Weber to talk about how Section 5 handles school classifications from year to year in high school basketball.
As you look at Section 5, and I know it's dear to your heart, you certainly coached and you're an educator and you've watched a zillion games. Are there any changes that you would make in Section 5 basketball if you could push a button tomorrow about the way it's outlined and the way it moves from year to year? Is there anything that drives you crazy or that you're happy with the way Section 5 operates?
Well, the biggest problem we have in Section 5 and in many other sections is the non-public schools. And as it turns out, I'm on a committee right now to move teams up and down, depending on how well they do. But what our committee tries to do is level the playing field between an Aquinas and a Fairport. And Aquinas does a very good job. They get great athletes in all their sports, but it's not fair to the public schools that have to take them from within their district. And to me, I've done a lot of different committees, and this is one of the toughest. It's very difficult to do. A lot of it is projected into what you're going to do based upon what you've done in the past, and it's very difficult. In the past, it wasn't a problem. You had DeSales, you had McQuaid. McQuaid always played at the top level anyway, so they're kind of even. But for example, DeSales, which no longer exists, but if DeSales is a Class D school, gets a transfer that's a good player in basketball, well, one kid can make the difference.
Sure, and they did. When they won their sectional title, they did it with Junior Sims, a player who went to Geneva after DeSales closed and won a sectional title at Geneva, among other players. A good example, I think, Rod, is this year Lions, on their way to Glens Falls, defeated RCMCS, Rochester Career Charter Mentoring School. And they didn't have a senior on the team because they didn't exist for 3 years. But now, this year, they were moved up to Class B with Minders and North Rose Wolcott, but they're going to be better this year. They had some really talented players, and so it's tough. It's tough. But on the other side of the coin, Lions beat them, and then they went ahead and beat Early College. So they beat a couple of these.
I was at both of those games.
Yeah.
And I know him pretty well, but Zach did a marvelous job this year.
Yes.
He did. Red Auerbach could have won those games. He did a great job. And the way that he beat him was those other coaches weren't very good. And I think that made the big difference. Now,
Yeah.
if you take that whole thing and project it like to early college in Buffalo,
Right.
they don't have a committee. They don't have a committee because they don't allow non-public schools to be in their sectionals.
Oh.
But now when you get a team like early college, who's a Class C team, if I'm a coach in Class C in Buffalo, I got to be going to the President of the United States. This team should not be in there.
Yeah.
But because they have no Catholic schools or private schools, they are allowed to exist, and it just defeats their whole purpose. And they got everybody back next year also. They have a good team coming.
Yeah, they were. If you looked at the players on the court between Lions and early college for that game, early college looked like a college team.
Wow.
Maybe that's why their name is early college.
Yeah.
But and Lions looked like the old Hoosiers coming in from. But they pulled it off at the end with
That
a
was
great
good.
backdoor play. Or no, that was a different game, but they pulled it out at the end.
Well, I know
That was
yeah.
the Kilmum game where
Right.
he called those two plays.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Whenever I called anything, it never worked.
I don't know. I think it worked in 79, 80. When was it when you won a state title? 80.
1980. And Zach,
Check out all of this week's episodes at the all-new FingerLakes1.tv site or the Finger Lakes One TV tab on our app. All our audio programming is also streaming in rotation on Finger Lakes One Radio. Thanks for joining me for another edition of FLX Weekly. I'll be back next Wednesday afternoon. For FingerLakes1.com, I'm Jessica Lahr. Happy Father's Day to all you dads and grandfathers out there. Enjoy your weekend in the Finger Lakes.